When one state passes a law that conflicts with federal law and harms another state, legal battles are almost inevitable. But what exactly can states do when this happens? Let's break it down. First, the affected state can challenge the law in federal court. The Supremacy Clause of the U.S. Constitution makes it clear: federal law overrides conflicting state law. States, individuals, or businesses can sue if they are harmed. Second, disputes between states can go directly to the U.S. Supreme Court under its original jurisdiction. Here, the court can strike down laws that cause harm across state lines. Third, there's the Dormant Commerce Clause. States are not allowed to pass laws that unfairly burden interstate commerce. If one state's law disrupts business in another, it can be struck down. Fourth, the federal government itself can step in. Agencies like the Department of Justice can bring enforcement actions against a state when its laws clearly conflict with federal rules. Fifth, there's the political route. States can pressure Congress to act, lobbying for new laws or clarifications that assert federal supremacy. And sixth, states sometimes negotiate interstate compacts, agreements approved by Congress that resolve disputes and become binding federal law. Now let's connect this to a real-world case. In 2025, a fatal crash in Florida raised questions about state licensing policies. The driver, Harjinder Singh, held a commercial driver's license from California. He was undocumented but had a federal work permit and an asylum claim, which allowed him to obtain the license legally at the time. Federal law restricts CDLs to citizens, permanent residents, or those with work authorization. California does allow undocumented immigrants to obtain standard driver's licenses, but not CDLs without legal presence. In cases like this, liability falls on the driver, not the state that issued the license. Victims' families may pursue civil or criminal lawsuits, but direct legal blame on California is rare. Still, tragedies like this fuel political and legal debates. Some argue that state licensing policies increase risks, while research suggests the impact is small and context-specific. Law enforcement and regulators may investigate whether licensing rules were properly followed, which can sometimes trigger policy changes. In summary, when state laws clash with federal law, the courts, especially the Supreme Court, are the ultimate referee. And in fatal interstate accidents like the Florida case, liability lies with the driver, not the licensing state. Still, these incidents often spark nationwide debate about where state authority ends and federal supremacy begins.